Welcome to The Informant, the podcast that talks about anything and everything. We cover from sports, religion, politics, social, you name it. I'm your host as ever, Doc McLeod. So without any further ado, let's delve right into it. People, I hope I find you well. Whatever time of the day, I don't know. So I can say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are. Just know that I have respectively greeted you. Without wasting a lot of time or without much ado, let's just dive right into the issue straight away. I was listening to the HSTV interview or presentation by Honorable Mutsvangwa before the journalists, and there was quite a number of things that I picked. To those who have listened to it, let's just chew the bone together. If you haven't heard if you didn't manage to listen to it, just follow the questions as I follow them after this small presentation. It's going to be very short, just about 10 minutes will be done. Right. First and foremost, I picked the reason why Blessed Dhara was arrested. Blessed Dhara was arrested for offending the people within Zanu-PF. Not for offending people within the government. Blessed Dhara was arrested for offending people within Zanu-PF. They said he was promoting people that wanted to circumvent the constitution. These are the people like Comrade Geza. So that's the reason why he was arrested. Right. Now, my question is, can you question Zanu-PF ethos without bringing in the government? Because from the way he was expressing it, I could not put a line or a divide between the things for Zanu-PF and things for the government. This is where I think we would need some clarity, right? Is it possible you can talk about Zanu-PF without bringing in national issues? Because national issues they lie under the government; they don't lie under Zanu-PF. And this conference, correct me if I'm wrong, it was a Zanu-PF presentation, or was it a Zanu-PF presentation or a government presentation? Because he's the spokesperson for Zanu-PF. He's the spokesperson for Zanu-PF. So I want to believe it was a Zanu-PF presentation. But the issues now that I saw coming out were not more of Zanu-PF, but were more of governmental issues. So where do people draw the lines between Zanu-PF issues and national issues? It comes back to what I always keep saying, and I've been writing on here, and some other people were saying to me, Murakash, and I said, you have to understand the difference between Zanu-PF and the government. It's a thin line. The divide is invisible. Basically, I'm trying to say there is no division between the two. Anything that happens within Zanu-PF will end up spiraling onto become a national issue, right? Blessed went on to ask about the lectures striking, and Honorable Mutsvangwa answered and said it's an employer-employee relationship. It's a labor act. It's a labor issue. It's not a governmental issue. There's a lot of gray lines there, gray areas that needs to be cleared. There's a lot of gray areas that needs to be, whatever they are doing, as much as it's a labor issue, I don't foresee the government not getting involved. So this is where I think we are needing clarity. At this point in time, I would have pointed out that people were not needing more so a Zanu-PF spokesperson to answer that, but a government spokesperson. So the minute you get not to be able to distinguish between Zanu-PF and government, it means we say that thinly dividing line needs to be clearly explained to people. I think this is where most people are failing on, if it's to be looked at on a very fair basis. We are not leaving anything here, and we are not supporting. We just want things to be clear so that when we are addressing people, we know exactly what we are talking about. I have always said anything that happens within Zanu-PF always ends up spilling over to become a national issue. The striking of the lecturers, I want to believe it's becoming sort of like a national issue, more than just a labor issue. This I think needs to be put right. He says there was a statement that he mentioned. He said Zanu-PF is a mass party. It's not a vanguard party. It's a mass party. So anyone is welcome into Zanu-PF, even if there's challenges that's taking place. I remember stating and saying to people that it's now time for guns to be put down. Everything that has been taken out for the well prepared for war from both sides, they need to be pulled back, and it's now time for conversation. But I tend to get people who come into the comments and they say things that I'm like, shush. People should not use emotions in regard to these things, but they should understand what we are trying to bring out. The issue here is, this is me, I have come to conclude that you cannot talk about Zanu-PF issues without talking about national issues, because of the structure of the way things have been laid within the system of Zimbabwe. This is where I think the biggest challenge is for many people to understand. When you try to put it right, people start to label you all names instead of seeking clarity or listening. Remember, I said, even what I say, even if it pains you, still take the painful words that I've said, because they are standing for truth. Don't just look for something that excites you. So let's close the look. Let's have a closer look to whatever Honorable Mutsvangwa was saying. There's a question that was asked regarding the person of Kudata Gwirei. He said, is this because of some succession moves or succession matrices? Is it being implanted into this? Kudata Gwirei is being implanted into the Zanu-PF Politburo. Comrade Mutsvangwa did not mince his words. He said every person, if people see fit and is recommended, they can just get any person. As long as the recommendation and the scrutiny is done, any person can come in. It's easy to answer, but it's totally different to be applying what has been said. As we go, you will see where the succession moves and the matrices have been activated. People are believing that it's a push for him to the presidential position. But Honorable Mutsvangwa said, if somebody comes into the party with those ambitions, and it can be spotted, that will mark them down. They will not prevail in the Zanu-PF. Is this statement not going to come and haunt you later, Mr. Honorable Mutsvangwa? Because if he grows within the party and he feels that he's also ambitious to become the president of Zimbabwe, how are you going to revisit this statement that you have said? I think this statement, according to me, was not properly placed, because it will haunt somebody tomorrow. Let's wait and see. Time shall tell. It was said that the late former president of Zimbabwe, Robert Gabriel Mugabe, he was removed because he had actually disobeyed the revolutionary traditions of the Zanu-PF. What are they? These needs to be explained. Last time I was talking to people about certain documents that they don't know, and it came as a surprise that some people just started to defend. And today again, you have mentioned another document that I hadn't mentioned. I don't know why I was delaying to mention about that. And this Mhlanga document, most people don't know about. When we're talking about the Mhlanga document, it's actually referring to focus on the political figures, the people like the late Robert Gabriel Mugabe, the former president of Zimbabwe, people like the reigning president of Zimbabwe, Comrade Emerson Mnangagwa. They are all covered in the context of the Mhlanga document, to those that don't know about it or have never heard about it. It also talks about secularism and their politics. All these things are stated in that document. The government and the legitimacy of governance within the country of Zimbabwe. Above all, it talks about the transitional justice of the country of Zimbabwe. I'll come back and give more information pertaining to that document. I think I should just make a a video explaining about the Mhlanga document. Those two documents are very important for people to know. Once you get to know what's contained in those documents, it also helps you to start to understand the politics of Zimbabwe. No wonder why I say you cannot take democracy from outside and try to apply it in Zimbabwe. It will bounce back because it got to be aligned to these two documents. No wonder why you always hear the war veterans claiming to be the owners of the land. It's like they fought it for themselves. They didn't fight it for all of us. It's down because of those two documents. Very important we take note of. Another issue that was blighted by Honorable Mutsvangwa was the issue of the late Hon Mutsvangwa, when he had signed the documents to get the generals to be arrested. Henceforth, people didn't know, but now because it has been said, some of these things I have to explain to people for them to know. Henceforth, you see, Commissioner Chihuri was a target for this, because most of these documents, they were kept at his private residence, in the garages. I want to believe that's the house that has been bought now by Wicknell Chivayo. If I want to believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think he bought it for about $7 million US dollars. Yes, that's the house where the documents were kept. People didn't know about this, but let me just give it to you so that, because Honorable Mutsvangwa just said it. The documents were signed by the late Hon Mutsvangwa. Because of that, that's why there were 3 people that were main targets when the late Robert Gabriel Mugabe was being ousted. Number 1 was Jonathan Moyo. Number 2 was Commissioner Chihuri. Those 3 were before we talk about Chombo, whose house was also raided. Anyway, these were the 4 people that were the main target for them to know that if the soft coup is to be successful, they needed to deal with these cadres. They needed to do. There's a wrong statement that has been said by Honorable Mutsvangwa. This one, I don't know. It says the tradition of Zanu-PF is they deal with the leader if they think he has grown bigger than the revolution. And the people of Zimbabwe and the state apparatus, they matter more than any single individual. So the structure of the state apparatus, this is where I was trying to explain to people, this is about the joke. That's this. Those are the what we call the state apparatus. If a leader then thinks he has grown bigger than them, they are bound to deal with him according to the Zanu-PF. According to Zanu-PF, yeah, not according to the general public, but according to Zanu-PF. They will deal with the person if he thinks he has grown bigger than the revolution. What does it mean? And what's being brought out here by Honorable Mutsvangwa? It means to say every leader who is coming now and who has been there before has got to be governed and judged to work alongside the revolutionary agreements. This is where the Mhlanga document comes into play. This is where the Mhlanga document comes into play. This is when the ideologies of Chitepo School of Ideology comes into play. And how can opposition then fit into this? That's why I always say we are still too far away from getting opposition into power, because these documents, they are still in existence. And the people that went to war still believe they are the ones who are supposed to be ruling. So it's still we're still a big way away, big way out when it comes to restructuring the politics of Zimbabwe, as is wanted by the young generation. They are saying you have to respect the people that went to war. Now, if this is the structure of what's required, I have a question for Blessed Geza and Honorable Mutsvangwa in regards to the interview that just taken place. My simple question is, at the preparation of the ousting of the late Robert Gabriel Mugabe, HSTV granted a platform to the people that are sitting right now in power. But at this point in time, after differences within the Zanu-PF party, it is the very same people that put him behind bars. reason they put him behind bars is because they believe that he was coercing them or giving them a platform to circumvent the constitution of Zimbabwe. I still need some clarification in regards to that, because the statement to me sounded very vague. It wasn't properly defended, if not explained. We are dealing with people here, and we also have got to consider them so that they give us their views. In the midst, we are also trying to make sure that everything is calmed down. But I feel like there's something that hasn't been explained properly there. With time, we'll get to have it all explained. But I just want to thank the Honorable for giving people the opportunity to ask him questions, to clear the air, to air his views, and allow people and reporters to openly air their views. I don't know how it felt for Blessed, because he had been away for some time. Remember, he had found a new home in the prison, and him being out now doing the job that he loves doing the most. I don't know how he felt. It's something that we would want him to comment on, because everyone knows what happened. It's politics. It's politics, and it politics certain individual at times, and he was just one such victim of that. His arrest was not a government arrest; it was a Zanu-PF arrest. So I don't know what prisons that Zanu-PF hold, and where are the prisons for the government? Because according to Honorable Mutsvangwa, he was arrested because he offended Zanu-PF people. He did not offend the government. That's according to Honorable Mutsvangwa. But nevertheless, thank you for giving us the opportunity to make sure that you express yourself, defend yourself, and also make it clear with the people that the position has now been taken, and people need to be moving forward. Hopefully, it went down with the people. It went well with the people. If not, you are going to see a lot of questions coming to barricade you, Honorable Mutsvangwa, and you still need to clear it, because it is your duty to account for what you say. At the very same time, it is your duty to account to protect the party of Zanu-PF. Above all, it is your duty to account to protect the nation of Zimbabwe and make sure that we are all made to be one. With this, I'm out. Thank you very much.